Hello everyone, welcome to CISA-This-Much. This is Aaditya and today we have with us Barbara from Poland. So Barbara, first of all, heartiest congratulations for clearing the CISA exam. Guys, she has recently cleared her CISA exam. Okay, so how do you feel? First of all, before proceeding with the entire session, my first question to you will be, how are you feeling right now? You have cleared one of
So,
the prestigious certification. Yeah.
so hello everyone. I'm very happy that I passed, that I cleared the exam from the first attempt. And I would say that here I go in January 2021. I even didn't imagine that it's possible, but it's possible. And here I am, but just passed the CISA exam.
Yeah. So guys, before moving on to the next questions, I will like to introduce about her past, her background. So basically, she also comes from a commerce background. She was initially in finance audit, external audits. From there, she entered in internal audits, and from internal audits, she is currently planning to move into IT audits. Is it right? Like whatever I have mentioned about you, your
Yeah, so
previous experience and previous you know
Yeah, so I started also in Big Four in the financial audit as external auditor. Then I moved to internal audit. Now I'm working in compliance, and I would like to move or shift my working task to the internal IS internal audit tasks.
Yeah. So Barbara, I get these questions, from a lot of people that, because, what I've seen is that especially for CISA, almost 80% of the people who do CISA are from finance background or accounts background or audit background. So these are the people who wants to get in IT audits. And one thing which is there in the mind is that they are actually scared of getting in IT audits because they say that they don't have any previous experience, they don't have any prior experience in IT, and will they be able to get a job or so on and so forth. So I get a lot of such questions that can a finance professional, can an accountant, auditor, can they get in IT audits? So what do you say? Like what do you have to say for this thing?
So I think that everybody can get there. The first step is passing the CISA exam, and I think that it's very advantageous in the labor market. It will show the employer that the person is willing to study, willing to learn a lot. And yeah, so I don't think that it's much difference between starting work in IT audit or in financial audit, or doesn't matter what. Now we will just start gaining knowledge, start gaining experience in new field.
Yeah, agree with your points. Okay, so let's get to the next question. So yeah, so as you're saying that you have cleared CISA exam, you are working in finance audit. From there, you got into internal audits, and now you are planning for getting in IT audits. So if someone cleared the CISA exam, will getting a job difficult in the market or easy in the market? Like, what's your opinion? Because again, this question comes to me that they say that Aditya, if we clear the exam, will we get a job without experience, or will we require experience, or like what's the thing?
I think the passing CISA is very good. Is very good like mark for the future employer, because it shows that you have some knowledge and that you are willing to learn and study a lot. Because I noticed that in Poland, there are not many people having this certificate. So even though for me, it was difficult to find the team to have a training. So so that's why I think it's having a certificate, past exam, and trying to find a job, it won't be very difficult.
Okay, so Barbara, again, one more question. I just want to take your point, like whatever you have spoken, just spoken that in your country, Poland, it was difficult to find the trainers. It was difficult, like so in your country, as you're saying that many people are still not aware about CISA. Okay, so in fact, even I have seen that there are many people from US, Canada, North America, Africa, Middle East, India, but what I've seen is that especially in Europe, like still many people are not aware about this. And in fact, I have a lot of students from UK, and they have told me the same thing, that in UK as well, the current demand is very high and the supply is very less in the market for IT auditors. So what do you think, is it so, or what do you want to give the message to people who are watching from your country or maybe your nearby countries, European countries? What message you want to convey to these people, about the CISA course?
So for me, when I passed CAA, Certified Internal Auditor, for me it was natural path that next certificate will be CISA. So I knew that I would like and I will pass someday in the future. It took for me some time to do that, but that was like natural next step in my career and in my studies. So I knew that from the beginning. Regarding the CISA, I would say that also now about 3 or 4 years, but I would say also that I'm quite young, so maybe that's why I know about that only for a short period of time. And regarding whether CISA is known in Poland, I think yes, because even in the government, the information from the government, when somebody, there are some list of certificates available, for the people who can do some audits for government bodies. CISA is one of them. So it's not like from that perspective, it's not something new for the people. I would say that, as you mentioned, that there are, I don't know whether it's very high demand, but of the people with that knowledge, but I think it will be growing because of current situation. And I think all companies get to know that information systems are very need to be protected, and because of that need to be also audited, but because also that there is a low amount of people having this certificate, I think there is that difference between people having and the companies needing the people with that certificate.
Okay, so Barbara, I agree with your points. Okay, so the next question is, about our the training entire process. So, how was your experience with us?
Yes, I think I'm pretty sure that without your videos and the concept explanation, I wouldn't pass the exam. So it's totally thank you for you and for your hard work. And especially that you're very charismatic, and it's like you clear the concept very well. So it's like really very very nice. And even for me, person who has no knowledge about what is firewall or switch or hub, now I understand everything. So thank you. And I like very much possibility to study and also on laptop, because I was watching videos on laptop because for me it's more convenient, and was making a test on the phone. So I could, make my pocket test when I was going to work on something like that. So it was very convenient. And I, even when I was in plane, for example, I downloaded the videos offline when I was going this last year to my vacation. So it was 2-in-1. I could also study and I was fine. So that was like really very, very useful, the feature of possibility of downloading offline videos, and also the tests are very, very useful.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the detailed feedback about me. Okay, so let's moving on to the next question. So next question is, okay, how much time does it take for a person who is working full time to study for CISA? Because again, this question comes to me a lot of times, especially from people who are working in Big Fours. So these people, they don't get time, they have lots of work pressure, and they ask me this question that, even if I enroll for CISA, will I be able to devote time, or is it like, if they just study on weekends, can they clear the exam only by studying on weekends, or what is it like? What do you feel?
So I think it's very important to be disciplined and study. like do not make 1 month pause or something like that. My, let's say, adventure started in February 2021. I bought a manual, best book for people who has insomnia. And later, I think in June, July, I was listening your domain 2 on YouTube, and then I decided to buy full package. So I was studying, let's say, maybe not each day, but almost each day with the weekends, few hours till I think September. Since October, I started to study much harder, and November, December, and January, I was studying very much, like I mean each day for 3 to 4 hours, also weekends. Last month, I had a few days off, so I was studying 7-8 hours per day. But I think it's because I had no knowledge. But also maybe I'm not working in Big Four, but also had a, let's say, busy season since May till September. So I had also not very much time, but I was very disciplined and I was studying like each day. I think that it's very important to do not make any gaps during the studies. And I also was making the tests, and also I had Q&A from ISACA. So I also was performing those tests. And generally, that's all of materials I used to.
Okay. Yeah. So let's getting the last question. And the last question is your last final message to upcoming CISA aspirants. Whatever you want to say about, like how can you guide in, like, in a very short possible manner, like maybe your tips or something like that, like if you can guide the people who are currently pursuing CISA or they are in the planning phase, what will be your piece of advice for them?
So I think first you should be disciplined and decide when you would like to, but realistic plan when you would like to have the exam, and plan accordingly for study. So first thing, do not say, okay, next month I'll pass next month, and saying this for 1 year or even more. So that's I would say one thing. And second thing, it's very important to understand that, okay, you will spend now more time on studying and to clear exam, but it will be very beneficial in future, because obviously we would like to earn in future more or work less. So I think that's why we are spending more time and effort and money now to have some gain in the future.
Yeah, actually,
so remember about that.
Yeah, and actually, I agree with one of your point, which is that most of the people, they just keep on postponing or delaying. So I know many people who have enrolled with us like 1 year back, and they still haven't given the exam. So I know a lot of people are like that. They are like, they don't get time, they're not able to allot the time. They have, maybe because of some external motivation, they have enrolled with us, they have enrolled with ISACA, but they could not appear for the exam. Okay, so yeah, so I agree with your point, which is you have to be disciplined. Okay, you have to keep a target in your mind that every day you will put some hours, because everyone are working, everyone is doing a job, everyone is working, but it is you who will have to allot the time from your daily schedule. Yeah, so thanks a lot for joining us and for sharing your opinion with us.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your help.
Yeah.